Shabbos, good morning, everybody. It is tazria metzora, our metzora parsha, many years ago, Lord. And so also this coming up week is the yard side of the Kli Yakar, who's quoted different places, who said very interesting things, really spent his whole life talking about Lashon Hara, how terrible it was, and metzora, metzora. Literally, the bad comes out. You have to of the house, you have to bring your stuff out, the clothes, you're out of the whole kahila. You have to leave and be in bidud. You have to be really away from people. So it's one of the things that people quote. Kli Yakar spends most of his life really talking about Lashon Hara, how bad it was. Spends really a lot of time talking about Lashon Hara and those issues. I thought something really interesting because one of the famous limudim he has in the parsha is the order of the tsaras is the opposite of what really happens. The body, the clothing, and the house. But in actuality, it's tsaras of the house, then the clothes and the body. And the Kli Yakar says that, well, that's the way Hashem set it up, is these warning shots. You have a warning shot if you're not doing the right, proper things. Your house gets it. You still don't listen. It's closer to home. Your clothing, and you still don't get the lessons and do tshuva, it's going to hit you in your body, and then you really have to leave the machne, leave your family, be by yourself, and that's the procedure. That's how it hits. So SMS, I think so literally an hour ago, is something very similar, because the question is, what's the house? Well, the Ammonim, they put the treasures, they thought the Jews were coming, so they got all scared. They didn't know it was 40 years. They thought, oh, Jews are coming right away. So they hid their treasures in the house. Maybe they can hide it. Maybe the Jews won't find it. They'll come back for it, whatever the purpose was. And they put the jewels in the house, the gold, and they come to Eretz Yisrael, and you have tzaras in the house. You open up the bricks, and so what's the purpose of this? It's one of the stranger things. You get rich from this, so you speak Lashon Hara, you become rich. What's the deal? And Farshim say, well, first of all, let's not go crazy here. You're not gonna get rich from it. If you have to rip down your house, the money that you'll find will be that amount. So it's 50,000 shekel dollars to fix the walls. You're gonna find that. Okay. But the Sfas Emes goes a lot further, and he says, "What's the purpose of this? What's the deal? Why only in Eretz Yisrael these things happen? Why not in fancy Flatbush or in Woodmere? Why Eretz Yisrael?" So Sfas Emes really says something that's very similar to the Ramban and Lech Lecha, is that there's a higher kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. There's a higher kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. We know that he brings a mashal that you have a wall. And it's the rocks that are higher up, they're going to fall the furthest. And the rocks and the bricks that are closer to the floor, they're not going to roll as much. So the higher you are of Kedusha, that's really where the issues are going to be. So the Ramban in Lech Lecha says that's why Sodom has to get destroyed. Mitzrayim was worse. Mitzrayim doesn't get destroyed. Why? Because Sodom was in Eretz Yisrael, and you do an Avera in Eretz Yisrael, it's a bigger Avera, because the Kedusha is much higher. So the Sfas Emes says there's Kedusha in the walls of the homes. There's Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. It went from Eretz Canaan to Eretz Yisrael. And the Jews getting there, the potential of mitzvos, the potential of Kedusha is a lot higher. And this is something that permeates not just ourselves, but our clothing and our homes. A couple of years ago, we had the car went, issues the car, the walls, the refrigerator, the dryer, the windows, the treason. Oh, terrible. Well, it's not just that. There is not Avera. There's something we have to work on. And this is literally part of a Jewish person. It's not just ourselves we have to worry about. It's how we take care of our money, how we open up our homes to chesed. Are we doing tzedakah? Are we using the car in the right way? The appliances, I joke around that one of the big things about Eretz Yisrael is the appliances. What? Well, in America, there's a expectation the internet's going to work, your phone's going to work, the refrigerator's going to work, heat. Eretz Yisrael, you don't have that. Eretz Yisrael, the best you could do is, the Wi-Fi works most of the time. It's not fast, but it's working. The appliances are falling off the walls. The faucet's not working. No, the appliances aren't the same. And this is kind of, and people have an issue. Check the mezuzah. You know what? Yeah, check the mezuzah, obviously, but it's checking yourself. And this is really part of living Eretz Yisrael, is that it's not just ourselves, but it's really connecting the land to Kedusha. And this is how we want to turn this Gashmias world, this as Fasema says in a couple places, this or, is or with an ayin is skin, but with an aleph it's light. And before the chet of Adam, it was light. And then Adam does the Avera, and now it's or with skins and clothing, which is Gashmias. And this is something that we have to kind of really think about, not just ourselves, but how we really have the Kedusha in our homes, in things that we do, and trying to bring this or of skin and Gashmias into or of Torah. Shabbat Shalom.